never know how the intro is going to hit till you hear it live, Wes. But that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I'm feeling pretty juiced up for high school football season after getting that little intro out of the way. And certainly we are juiced up after last night going up to Charleston Southern. And it's wild to be covering high school football on August 12th, and a sweltering heat, and had to have all the water breaks and all that stuff. But man, it felt good to get out there and just hear the sounds and see the sights. And it didn't hurt that Beaufort Academy played great football. I mean, just terrific football to open the season up. And before I go further, I guess I should back up. I got a little hyped up after that intro. I'm Justin Jarrett. He's Wes Kerr. This is the maiden voyage of Lowco Pigskin Live for 2023. It's not really a full slate. It felt kind of weird, but we felt like, hey, we'll use it as a test run. Great way for me to remember all the things that I've forgotten to complete that I need to get done before we do this for real on Friday night with a full slate. But one of the things I want to do before we go too far is just to thank our sponsors once again, which, we can never do that enough. And tonight's show brought to you by Mickelson Law Firm, Homegrown Home Inspections, Hospice Care of the Low Country, and Megan Jarrett, Realtor from the Pierce Group. Those are our MVP sponsors for this season, and we'll shout out some more sponsors as we go. This kind of a condensed show. We'll definitely do more with the sponsors starting next week when we get the real thing going. But Wes, the one game on the slate last night was a heck of a game, especially for the hometown team. BA boys were hyped up from the start. It was a battle, but they were able to make some huge plays, especially in the red zone, to bring home that win last night.
Yeah, when you look at what happened last night, you look on both sides and see what each team did in the red zone, and Beaufort Academy just found a way to punch it in when it really mattered. And then you look on the other side and what BA's defense did, forcing 3 important turnovers, including one late in that first half when BA fumbled on the kickoff, and then able to get it right back on a forced fumble, and then that spectacular drive all the way down to the end zone. You talk about red zone possessions and points off turnovers. That is what decided this ball game. And Dietrich Schuford, first time in a Beaufort Academy jersey, he certainly looked the part, and he did enough. And when the big plays presented themselves, he made the plays and got it done. And Jackson Porter, absolutely nuclear performance in this first game for Beaufort Academy. Something we've seen a bunch of times throughout his career, but he was absolutely in the zone on both sides of the ball and provided so much of the difference, not just offensively with his sparking electricity running the football, but he also goes to the defense, being able to rack up a good amount of tackles and just always be on the forefront. And, it was interesting to see how kind of the game kind of developed, because you look at what Trinity was kind of do. They started out, with an empty backfield. They were letting their 8th grade quarterback, they were letting him throw it. And decide, let's just run the ball.
And he did a good job now. That kid's got a bright future.
Yeah.
And we'll talk a little bit more later in the show. We got Alex Williams jumping in with this, star on both sides of the ball, offensive lineman, linebacker for BA. And we'll talk more about, some of that stuff. But I just wanted to note that 8th grade quarterback, he was pretty good.
Yeah.
But
I was impressed with what I saw from Trinity and that young quarterback who, first game coming in as an 8th grader, playing at as big as an arena as this, the first high school football game of the season at a college-level stadium. You got to have some nerves to be going through you when you have to make a start like that for your team. But I think he did a tremendous job. And of course, talking about Cade Arnold, the 8th grade quarterback from Trinity Collegiate, who, had a very good game and, did make a couple of, you can't really call them big mistakes. I mean, he missed a couple of throws deep that are very tough to make. He did throw that one interception, but he was.
He also threw a dime on that fade to span that 30-yard fade.
That was beautiful.
Was beautiful. Yeah, that was really good. But
that was a gorgeous throw, and he just looked the part of someone who was ready for a situation like this. And I thought he played very well. I mean, when you look at the expectations that were there from such a young player. But, I thought he played a great game. I think Dietrich Schuford on the other side played a very, very good game for Beaufort Academy. There goes Jackson Porter into the end zone. 3 touchdowns on the day for Mr. Porter.
A lot of my highlights are on the reels.
146 and 3 touchdowns.
Hope
the
people like
night.
the reels coverage. But yeah,
Yes.
156 and 3 touchdowns on 14 carries, so 10 plus per carry for Jackson. Look at that jump pass from D. That was nice.
Yeah,
Well, we might
that
have to
was
watch
the
these again
two-point
with Alex
conversion,
once we
yeah.
get him in here. I want to get his
But then on
reaction to all this.
defense, he added 8 total tackles, 6 solos, 2 assists, and a tackle for loss. So, really looking the part on both sides of the ball. But it was definitely team effort. Devontae Green with a very underrated game. I mean, we talked all about it was a Jackson Porter show, but Green leading the team in tackles. He was able to pick up some yards on the ground. He scored a couple of 2-point conversions. He also did a good job blocking, opening up some holes for Porter and some other guys like Shuford. I thought the offensive line did a very good job. When you look at those rushing numbers, not just Porter, but Green and Shuford. Shuford picked up a key first down, a 4th and 8 in the second half. A lot of good improvisation from Shuford. I mean, certainly he knows that he can take these risks. He likes to take a lot of risks, and sometimes he knows that can pay off for him. But you have to be aware in certain situations. He got sacked once. He kind of took a couple of chances where sometimes you got to be a little more aware and get the ball away. Don't hold on to it that long. But all in all, I think Shuford had a very good game. I think, and the offensive line, as I mentioned, was terrific, really from the outset. And that run game led by Jackson Porter, giving time. Shuford had a lot of time to make most of those throws. The offensive line was working very hard for that Beaufort Academy offense. So there's a lot to like.
In fact, a good number of those throws, those completions, were guys coming back to the ball. After the line blocked for a long time and nobody could get open, and like Fripp was coming back, doing a good job coming back to it as well, Gonzalez. So I thought the line did a terrific job, and Porter gave a tremendous interview. So before we get Alex in here, let's just listen to what Jackson Porter had to say after the game, because he said a lot.
All right, Jackson, what a great night for you to open your senior season. Just tell me a little about this game and the mentality you guys brought into it, how you were able to get the dub.
We've been hitting each other all summer, all spring, so we really just wanted to come out and hit someone else. And then in that second quarter, they hit us in the mouth, and then we just came right back at them. Our offensive line played tremendous tonight. Defense came out and stopped them, and I would just want to give a big shout out to my offensive line and my other running back, D. They were leading the way for me. Made my job a lot easier.
And you had a big night, especially that last touchdown to seal it. Had to feel good. Ran over a couple guys on the way. Tell me about that play.
That's just, I've been working hard in the weight room all summer, just like the rest of our team, and we needed that touchdown to put them away, and the line opened it up, and I just did what we had to do.
What does this mean to you guys? I mean, you guys knew coming into this game this was going to be a test, but you didn't necessarily know you were going to win this game. This was the kind of game you wanted to play to kind of see where you are. Now, what do you know about where you are?
We still have a long way to go. We want to get better every week, but I feel like this was a strong start for us. We saw what we're good at and what we need to work on, so we'll be even better next week, hopefully.
All right, great job, man. Congratulations and best of luck this season.
Thank you.
Such a humble young man. He
that was Clay Lore. Clay Lore at the end there with the outburst.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Just a humble young man who, I thought he said all the right things there. He respects his teammates, and just the fact that, we had a great game, but it's just one game at the end of the day. We have a lot more things to accomplish and strides to make as a combined team and a combined unit. So putting it all in perspective, I think he knows the purpose of what this game was. And he definitely, said that he was ready, and this team really was for this game, as they proved out on the field. And just the energy that we saw, that the tone was set in the summer, and Nick Shuford and this team did a great job preparing for this opener. They were hyped up, they were ready for it, and certainly looked the part and delivered on the field. They were looking at mid-season form on both sides of the ball. And I think Jackson Porter, obviously he was the catalyst, but once again, giving credit to that offensive line for what they did to help his cause. And then, he kind of made some plays in the zone with that last touchdown run. But what a fun guy to watch, and just a very humble young man. He loves, that passion is there. He loves the opportunity to put on that jersey for Beaufort Academy. And he's truly worked so hard. And one of the guys who I'd really love to see win a championship, because this is one of the guys who has really bought into this and what it takes to win, and he certainly proved it these last few years. But now he recognizes the opportunity that he has in front of him to be not just a star on the field, but a leader and a teammate, and he really showed all that in this interview.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's the kind of interview that, you look at stats and you go 14 for 146 and 3 touchdowns. He got a great game, but without the proper context, which requires some research to understand, what's the level, who are they playing against, all those things. It doesn't mean that much. It's all relative, right? But then you see the guy give that interview after the game and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, no, that guy can play for me, because that's the mentality we need, regardless of the physicality. We need that mentality, and that's going to be contagious to others around him. And, I think that's a product of that class, that senior class. And we've got one of them waiting in the green room. So let's get him in here. Alex Williams joining us on the show. Not his first contribution to Lowco Sports, though. He's shot some video and photos for us in the past when he's not busy playing football or basketball. But how's it going, man? You feeling good today? I'm sure you're feeling a little beat up, because it was a battle out there. But you're also on cloud 9, right?
It was, just stretched out, and it's football, so we get used to it. But it feels good to be back out there.
Well, tell me about that. Yeah,
Trinity
go ahead,
Collegiate team and just the battle that went on throughout that night, and how you guys prepared and how you guys kind of stayed the course and found a way to persevere in a difficult matchup.
Yeah, that Trinity Collegiate, they're a 4A private school. On paper, those guys are way bigger than us. But when we got on that field, we knew we're going to play BA football. We're going to punch them in the mouth, and it's football, so you're probably going to get punched back in the mouth. But at the end of the day, it just depends on what team wants it more. And I think, we showed it that we're here to play.
No question. The defense, bend but don't break is kind of what comes to mind. Gave up some yardage, which you're going to do. That offense is not a cakewalk to defend. They show some multiple stuff now, too. They'll spread you out, and then they'll come back with that wing tee that is just no fun at all to defend. It's a mess. One missed assignment, and you're giving up a big play. Yeah. So I thought it was a really good effort by your defense. Thomas Hayward had a big shootout with them last year in this game. They're an offense that can put up points, but for you guys to hold it to 14 was a big statement, and you did it by forcing those turnovers in the red zone. 3 times you made them cough it up. Is there some sort of identity around the team that helps you be able to kind of buckle down with your back against the wall, do you think? Or what is it about you guys that you were able to come up with those big plays in those spots?
I think one big thing is a lot of our guys, we're a lot of returning players, and we bond really nice together. So, we can go left and I can go right. And, we just we'll find somewhere in the middle to make it work. And I think during those red zone, when they were driving the ball down us, we had to figure it out. D came up clutch last couple minutes of the game with a fumble. Jace Polk caught an interception beginning of the game, which saved us, helped us get started.
Nice play too. Picked it right off the turf. That was nice.
It was, yeah. But
Alex, talk a little more about the senior class here at Beaufort Academy. How you guys have bonded these last few years. A group of kids, you a part of it, who have really done a great job to motivate each other and play for each other, and just elaborate on that relationship with you guys and how special this senior year is, with a chance to do something really special.
Yeah, this senior class is probably one of the biggest we've had in a long time. But with us being a small school where we're always tight together, and I think that helps us on the field and outside of football. We're just a real tight packed community, and we try and keep that off and on the field at all times. And I think that's really helped us. It helped us last night for sure when times got tough. But that's where we are as a team right now, especially that senior core. We're trying to be really strong, build up those younger guys, so when we leave, they just step up.
Well, and you've got a unique situation there too, because you've got a huge senior class back. You've got this core that's been together. You've had success, and your coach who brought you this far is still there.
Yeah.
While you also have brought in this new coach and kind of a new energy, a little bit younger, a little tweak the philosophy a little bit. And obviously Nick Schufert is really great at motivating young men and getting them ready for the season. We've seen that with all these games he's played early in the season and the success they've had. So you've got really a unique vibe going on there with Clifford still being in the mix, and it seems like a really cool, unique atmosphere. Tell us a little bit about how it's been this summer and just the energy there.
Coach Clifford, he's built into us like a respectful young man. He's an old school guy, so he's got a lot of old school rules. But yeah, I mean, those things help us in life with football and without football. But Coach Schufert, him being a little bit younger, he's a little bit more down, with music and a couple other things, that get us hyped up for game time. But having both of them it's unbelievable. The knowledge we get from those guys it's like you can't find it anywhere else. And I think it's going to help.
You got Harry Sprouse up there too. Harry Sprouse has been around a minute.
That's my guy. I found out he's a big Bama boy. So that's my dude.
Alex, how fun has it been to watch your guy Jackson Porter ball out last night? Not just in the run game, of course, we mentioned that eye-popping touchdown at the end, but also defensively, doing a great job of flying to the football and taking care of business, making some big stops. As a teammate of his, how much do you admire what he brings to your team?
Jackson, that's my boy. We always make fun of me, the little pretty boys, little curly hair, but when it's time to score a ball or when it's time to defend, Jackson's there every single time. Like no matter what.
He does have those locks, and he's got beautiful eyes too.
He does.
I mean, he's a pretty dude. He's a good looking dude, but I wouldn't want to be standing in front of him when he's holding the football. That's for sure. Or I wouldn't want to be holding the football when he's standing in front of me either. No, he's definitely developed into a heck of a player, and he and Devontae are really a tremendous pair. And it seems like they both sort of kind of have that humility that offensive linemen usually have, like yourself, where they're quick to kind of deflect the praise and give it to somebody else and talk about the guys who helped them get there. And that's got to be cool as an offensive lineman to have a couple of running backs who are extremely talented and do a lot of work and always remember to give you guys credit.
Yeah, those guys, they love us. They always give us the respect that we deserve. And, it's a team effort. We do what we got to do, and they put points on the board. So at the end of the day, we're all happy.
That's what it's all about. You respect each other, you root for each other, and you push each other on. I mean, that's what being great teammates is all about. But reflect on this experience. Playing a week before you normally do, August 12th, so everything kind of gets bumped up. You're just the first high school football game of the season. So describe the experience of playing at a venue like this at Charleston Southern to begin the season and how you guys kind of approached this particular opportunity.
I think the experience was amazing. I think it'll foreshadow what we're trying to complete later on during the season. But I think us playing so early, it gives us a big advantage against other teams because I'm pretty sure we're the only team that's played a full 4 quarters in the state, I'm pretty sure. So I think going into next week, that gives us a big advantage. We know what it takes to play that 4 quarters than other teams.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't hurt to get that seasoning under your belt, and you'll feel, you know what it feels like to go for game 2. You feel a lot more comfortable than you do game 1, and so that's the situation you'll be in next week against a Pinewood team that looked pretty lethal on offense again last night, which we've come to expect. Defense gave up a couple of big ones, but did you guys get to take a little peek at them in the scrimmage and get a little bit of an idea about what you're up against next week?
We saw them get off the bus, but we didn't really get to, look at them play too much when we were warming up. But Pinewood, we always they do have a explosive offense, but it's going to be a dogfight come Friday. Just better team's going to win, and we'll see then.
Yeah, another big opportunity to make an important statement in SCISA and SCISA 2A, which you guys will be competing when you get into region play. But just reflect a little more on the preseason this summer. Obviously, there's a coaching change, bringing in a coach that you certainly were familiar with in Nick Schufert, who coached at Thomas Hayward, and I'm sure you played against him before, but just tell me about that transition, going from Mark Clifford, who still obviously is helping you guys and giving you advice, but to this new coach and what he's done, what he's brought in. Obviously, Dietrich Schufert a part of it, but just his philosophy and how he's helped motivate you guys even further.
So like when we found the news that Coach Schufert was coming, it was a very smooth transition. I remember the first day he was there, he was no games. We're here to play football, and it's been like that over the summer. We've had great numbers in the weight room with our weight room program, and just making a certain amount of practices, and then that transformed into fall camp and to where we are now. But Coach Schufert, he's a great guy. He stands for what he stands for. But he's doing a great job building up the program and making great young men.
Yeah, I've definitely seen him really grow up as a coach over the years. From he was pretty young when he got the opportunity at Thomas Hayward and had success. But I think he would be the first to tell you, as most good coaches are, he didn't know what he was doing yet. And he's definitely figured it out. He's a heck of a coach, and you guys were very well prepared for last night. I think you definitely put yourself right there in the same sentence with Williamsburg Academy now, probably as kind of the teams we're looking at, and Skiza 2A across the state. But who are some of the other teams, maybe the 2A teams that you think are poised for good years, as well as some other teams around here, and what you think about them?
I think Hillhead Christian, I can't wait for that game. I think that'll be a good one. We go there. And then that Thomas Hayward game, going back there, I think that's going to be just being there, the atmosphere is going to make it an amazing game. And then Williamsburg comes to us this year, which is, that's nice. That's a long drive, to get up there. So,
I bet it was a longer drive back.
Yeah, both years. But it's good that they're coming down here. So hopefully, things go our way, and we'll just, it's really early right now, so it's hard to tell. But we're ready. We're ready for the season to really kick off.
Oh, certainly off to a great start. And you mentioned some of these area teams like Hilton Head Christian Academy. Tell me what these Lowco against Lowco teams, playing teams right in your area. Those kind of rivalry games where a lot of the kids there. How does that kind of pump you up, even so more than a normal game against another team, and kind of puts you in that mindset that you want to put your best game out there against the fellow area team?
Yeah, being like so close, like that bus ride, 25 minutes, and you're pretty much there. So motions they rile up very quick, but being in low country, it's a real small place. Everyone really knows each other. So, one game you might be standing across playing against your childhood best friend, but towards the end, we're all friends. We all shake hands at the end. So it's great competition. It's always good to see your friends on the field.
Right on, man. Well, we've absolutely enjoyed covering your career thus far, and I know you love the game. Are you aspiring to play at the next level, or is this something where you've decided that it's high school football for you? And I know you have bigger ideas beyond that.
As of right now, it's up in the air, but I love the sport, so any opportunity I get, I'll always take.
Right on, man.
That's
well,
fantastic.
Somebody give him a chance.
Yeah.
Well,
you heard him here. You know what he's about, and I'll tell you, nobody plays harder out there. You're definitely undersized to be on the offensive line, but you don't play like it. You play like the biggest cat out there.
Yes, sir.
And get after it on defense too. So we appreciate you, man, and enjoy basking in the glow for the rest of the day, and then it's back to work tomorrow, right?
Yes, sir. Back to it.
All right. Thanks a lot, Alex. We'll talk to you soon.
Man. All right. Have a great day.
Thank you.
All right. Great to talk to Alex. He's an outstanding young man. Met him, several years ago, and he wanted to start getting his feet wet, playing with the camera a little bit. And he's got some real talent on that side of the ball too. So I'll be eager to see what he does with himself after high school, whether it's playing football or something else. But very bright young man, and obviously a tremendous football player and teammate. So another one.
To the team, not just on the field as a playmaker, because he is one, but also that camaraderie and that kind of companionship with his senior class. I think that senior class is really doing something special. They have the right vibe. They have the right energy of how to approach a season like this. It's your last year. You have a chance to do something very special amongst, this team, and you're counted on to be that leader, to set an example for some of those younger guys. And Alex is a big part of that, and he kind of knows his role is. He's not particularly the biggest star on the field per se, but he's counted on to do a couple of different things very well, and so far he has been on top of it, not just blocking on the offensive line and scoring defensively, but as that leader, as the example setter as well, the humble young man, just like we were talking about with Jackson. So these BA players, I'm really impressed with the mindset of how they came into this game, just embracing the opportunity. As I said, they were hungry, they were ready to go. But against a quality team like this, they knew that they were going to put their best foot forward, and they proved some big things this first week. Obviously, like these guys said, it's just one game. Now you have to quickly turn the page to a very good Pinewood Prep team. Can you back that up? Can you put on a similar performance that you did that first week and build on what you've already done? So we'll see if they can keep it going, but so far so good for Jackson Porter, Alex Williams, and this BA Eagles team.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're running out of our 30 minutes we allotted ourselves tonight, Wes. So we got to name some players of the week. Should be pretty easy. You only have the one game to choose from, and you get the first pick in the draft, and I can already tell you.
This one's sitting there. It's Jackson Porter. Both sides of the ball, dominant game, racking up the yardage, and some eye-popping plays, including that when we hopefully somebody has the video of that last touchdown where he bounced off a defender after zooming down the outside into the end zone. Just ridiculous stuff right there from Porter, but a guy who's so trusted in the red zone and just so trusted in general to find the holes, use that speed, power, determination to pick up yardage. And then on the other side, he does it on defense too. And in a game where, this Trinity Collegiate team had a lot of weapons on not just, that offensive line, but some quality backs as well. And it took a lot of work for Porter and his teammates to make those plays. And Porter just had that extra strength, the extra, spark in him to go over the top and make those big plays happen. And, that's a guy, that's the experience of someone who's played in the same program. And he knows those teaching from Mark Clifford, and he has carried it with him. And he's worked so hard in the offseason, like he said. And now you're seeing the potential of what you have with the Beaufort Academy team that's veteran heavy, which is so important when you look at what it takes to get to that ultimate goal, to have those guys who've been there for a while, know what it takes to win football games. This guy's a quintessential, veteran player that just, when the situation arises, he knows what he needs to do to get the job done. You can say that with a lot of the guys, but Jackson Porter really shined the brightest in this first game, and someone who I've always enjoyed watch play, no matter the sport, but he has been a beast in the football field.
I remember thinking he was a senior when he was like a sophomore, because it felt like he had been like a dude for so long, and now he's finally a senior. So that's kind of crazy, but he's a full grown man now, and he's a handful to deal with. And they got a few guys who are, he and Devontae Green are a real nice thunder and lightning package back there. And they're real.
And you got Shuford who can run as well. So
yeah, I mean, I think Shuford loves being kind of flying under the radar, like just being that third option. That's great for him. But I got to give my player of the week to the guy that we had on, Alex Williams. I mean, he had 9 tackles, 5 solo on defense, had a tackle for loss. He had the team rushed for 264 yards and 4 touchdowns on 31 carries, so averaged 8.5 per carry. And that guy, I mean, he is just a dog. He's he's out there the whole time if he can stand, and getting in there at linebacker and hitting people hard. But I mean, it was a really great team effort. And, if you're handing out helmet stickers, you got to give one to almost everybody because it really was a team effort. And Dietrich Schufer definitely gets one. Fripp gets one. Gonzalez gets one. Give the whole offensive line a helmet sticker, no question. Tripp Gregory for sure gets one. He had a tremendous game.
Nice pick. You can go down the list. Everybody on that field, all 11 guys in offense and defense, they made a contribution, whether it was big or small, to this team, and that's what you want to see as you go through this season. You mentioned just a team in midseason form on August 12th. That's a nice declaration to have when you look at where you want to be. That when you're playing November, it's good to be there in August. Now, can you find a way to sustain it and build on what you've done? But now you're trying to get back there.
Can't win them all if you don't win the first one.
Yeah.
But no, I like this team a lot. I like the vibe. Clay Lawler too. I mean, that's a kid who he's my size, literally. Like we stand side by side, and like if he didn't have the pads on, he'd be me. And he's out there playing defensive end and getting after it, and high motor. They have a bunch of vocal leaders on that team. And, sometimes I think when a team doesn't really have a vocal leader, when someone speaks up and calls somebody out on something, everybody just kind of looks around like, what is he doing? But when you have a bunch of guys who are all that way, you get desensitized to it and you get accustomed and you start to understand where it's coming from.
And I think Braden Deneen left a big mark on a lot of those guys.
Yep. No question. He was the same brand of guy. And I think Clifford sort of fosters that too. He, especially with his quarterback, he really wants his quarterback to be a leader and a vocal leader and a game manager and all those things. So he always looked for that guy who could really be a field general. And Deneen definitely fit the bill, and Shuford slides right into that role very easily. Dietrich sounds like his dad when you talk to him about the game. Like he's absorbed a ton of knowledge. And, he still makes mistakes. He's a high school kid, but he's a very good, he understands the game. He knows what's going on. And I think that's a big part of it too, is they have a bunch of kids who are really students of the game and have worked under really good coaches and learned the game and do it the right way. And when you do that for 3 or 4 years in a row, by the time you get to be a senior, you're a pretty dang good football player. And you can go out there and execute it and know what needs to be done. And they did it last night. We'll see if they can keep doing it all season long. But it was a ton of fun last night. And let's look a quick look ahead at what we're going to do this week. Well, first we're going to just tell folks what we got coming up. We are going to do a full Pigskin preview, total season preview episode. We got that coming, as well as a week 0 preview show. We'll do a little shorter week 0 preview show.
I almost thought week 1.
We just had week -1. Week -1 we had last night. So looking at that slate, we got Beaufort at Cane Bay, Beaufort Academy at Pinewood Prep, Bethesda at Hilton Head Prep, and that one's on WHHI. Bluffton, that one's not on HHI. Bluffton and Beach, Carlton Prep at Florence Christian, Hampton County at Carlton County. That's where I'm heading. Hilton Head Prep at Battery Creek is where you'll be. Patrick Henry at Cross, Ridgeland at St. John's, Savannah Christian at Hilton Head Christian. That's a real good Savannah Christian team coming over if you want to see the number 1 player in the country for next year's class. And then WHHI will be at Thomas Hayward JP2, which will also be that's a good one, man. We're going to try to get somebody out to that one for sure, because that could be a good one.
Yeah, obviously the Hampton County game stands out. It's that's a historic game. I mean, first piece of action for this new look Hampton County Hurricanes team with Estelgon, Wade Hampton becoming this one school, and this Colleton team that wants to make a statement of its own. Adam Kinloch, when you look at preseason, it's hard to really gauge who won or lost the preseason game, but I was impressed with what I saw with the compete from Kinloch's guys, and I think it could be interesting to see what happens in this first game with the emotion coming out of that Hampton County side, and then the Colleton with a couple of guys who they brought a lot of players in. Now we'll see what they'll do to contribute on the field, but both ways are going to be a lot of high energy excitement for this opening game.
Yeah, my expectation is Hampton's got too much juice for Colleton right now, but anything can happen on Friday night. We know that. We've seen much stranger things than this, and Carleton's got like 100 dudes out. So there's bound to be 22 of them in there that can play a little football. So, I think it's going to be a really interesting game. My hope is that the Carleton guys, if they do kind of take it on the chin from a really good Hampton team, don't think that means they can't do it like they thought they could, because that's going to be a real good football team at Hampton. I've seen enough film of some of the guys and how they look in preseason. Kayvon in particular, goodness sakes, that guy, and Mandrell Sanders, like putting those two guys on the same side of the defense and asking a couple high school kids to keep them off your quarterback is no cakewalk, man. That's a tough assignment. So, I think it's going to be an interesting game, but I hope Colleton doesn't think that it's the end all be all. There's 9 more after that. And
Right.
I think Kinlock will have them in the right frame of mind for this, but the hype's going to be real. And then, once that adrenaline wears off, you still got to play 9 more of these things. So you got to factor that in and protect against that.
I'm interested in seeing what
it's going to be
does
awesome.
against Hilton Head.
Yeah, I think that's a
real.
real interesting game. I'm bullish on both those teams. I think they're both going to have pretty good seasons. We talked a lot on the car ride yesterday about that. And I think Hilton Head could be very dangerous. I think I think both those quarterbacks were about equal last year. Let me put it that way. I think it's great that they're both starting this year at 2 schools. That's wonderful. I think it will benefit Hilton Head to only have 1 quarterback. And, just being able to get into the flow of the game a little bit, the rhythm of the game, to just kind of know what your identity is on offense all the time instead of it kind of changing, being almost multiple personalities on offense. And they were similar guys, but they were different. And now they know what they are. And Bibby's a really good pocket passer. He's a big, strong kid. He can run a little. And Timko's a dude. And Shai Thompson is going to line up at tight end a good bit. And that's very interesting to me on offense. And then on defense, they're always going to be pretty solid.
They always play a tough brand of football. I mean, it's sometimes
Yeah.
they're kind of a team that wins boring games, but they're a hard-nosed group that's gonna, grind you down, especially when they have the lead. So that's always a tough team to play against. But I'm not sleeping on this Battery Creek team. I like what they're doing over there. I think there's a resurgence of energy, and being at home, I think that's gonna do a lot for them. When you look at what we could see on Friday night, the energy coming out to playing a home opener.
There's a lot of excitement there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of excitement there. And when that place is rocking, it is rocking. They get the band up in there, and when the community turns out, it gets good. So I think that's going to be a great atmosphere. If I can be in all these places, I would be, obviously, but I have a little FOMO about you being at Creek because I love being there for big games. If it's opening night, homecoming, or Whale Branch or Beaufort, like it's going to be a good time at Creek, guaranteed. And I'm excited about what they got going on there. They've been building it block by block, and I know the kids are really excited, and that's about half the battle, man. You get the kids excited about going out to play, and they're going to play a lot better than they do when they're dreading it. That's just the fact of the matter. It's tough when you think you're going to get it on the chin to get too excited to go play, but they're excited right now. So everybody's excited week 0, right? That's the beauty of it. By the time you get into week 7 or 8,
we're still undefeated.
Some of them are just playing out the string down at the end. But yeah, you're right. The Lowco is undefeated. That won't last long because we got a few Lowco on Lowcos. So somebody's taking it out.
And by the way, before we close out tonight, we're going to have a little pick'em contest this year for our Lowco fans. I'm going to be setting it up over the next few days, but we're going to have an opportunity for our Lowco fans, anyone who wants to join, to show off their knowledge and see how many games they can pick. And I don't know, I'm thinking of doing either. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it just a normal pick'em or have like a thing where you assign confidence numbers to each game. I have to think about that.
I like the confidence picks. I like that, especially because you can't do spreads because that's weird with high school kids. But confidence picks, I like that element. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. You're the pick'em czar, but I throw my weight behind confidence picks. By the way, if you're still listening and you tuned in, you checked out the Instagram and Facebook coverage, the reels last night, kind of prototype thing happening there. I'm trying to kind of, how do you do fellow kids myself into this and kind of make it look like what it would look like if our student interns were out there creating on the fly during the game. So let us know, give some feedback on that. I'm quite certain there are tons of high school students out there who can Instagram reels much better than I can. So you can take what I laid down last night and improve upon it. And you want to give it a shot, reach out to us, locosports@gmail.com, LOWCO sports@gmail.com. You're going to be at the game anyway. Let's get you on the sideline and get some content, put it out there for the people. We got tons of engagement, so I know people liked it. And it was a great time, man. It was really fun to be back out there with you. But lots of love for the sponsors. Megan Jarrett, realtor at the Pierce Group. Also my wife, biggest supporter. We couldn't do it without her, I promise. Mickelson Law Group, Hospice Care, the Low Country, and Homegrown Home Inspections are our MVP sponsors. And then we have our varsity sponsors, DDS Web Design and the Parker Law Group, which is also supporting our BA football coverage. So shout out to them on tonight's episode. And then our Lowco Booster Club members, Prime IV and Wellness over in the Belfair Town Village, Rooted Living Wellness and Chiropractic, Barefoot Floor Care of the Low Country, and Eagle Creations. Thanks so much to them for making it all possible. Thanks to Alex Williams for jumping on with us, and thanks most of all, to y'all for showing up to listen and watch. We're going to keep doing it as long as you want to hear it. That's going to do it for tonight. Until next time, go Loco.